Hey, and welcome back to the Gracefully Growing podcast, where we talk about real life challenges teens face and how to handle them with confidence, emotional intelligence, and a little bit of grace. I am Dr. Kemi, educator, author, speaker, gratitude advocate, and mom to an amazing almost 14-year-old, and I'm the creator of the Living with Grace framework. Thank you to 2,400 subscribers. I'm so happy that you're here. If you're watching me right now and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, click that subscribe button, and I'll be so happy to have you. And a special thank you to all my subscribers. I really, truly, truly appreciate you joining each week, especially those of you who interact with my content and leave me comments. All right. I want you to go ahead and grab your journal. If you do not have a journal, just simply get a regular schmegular notebook so you can take some notes. If you do not have a notebook, go ahead and open the Notes app on your phone so you can take some notes. If you are looking for a journal to support your journey, your growth journey, your affirmation journey, I have written the Affirmation Gratitude Journal that is available on Amazon. And I'm going to post the link to it in the show notes. Today, we are talking about how to control your emotions in the moment. So, this one is all about thinking fast and reacting less. Because let's be honest, sometimes your emotions do not knock quietly, they kick the door open and announce to the world, we are mad today. And before you know it, you have sent that text, you have slammed the door, rolled your eyes, posted that shady story on social media, argued with your teacher, snapped at your parents, and said something you immediately wish you could take back. And then 5 minutes later, you're sitting there thinking, now, why did I do that? Or worse, now I have to apologize. The audacity of personal growth. But today, we're going to talk about how you need to pause before reacting, how to manage your big emotions in the moment, and how to stop letting temporary feelings create permanent problems for you. You meaning the teenager. Emotional control does not mean you never feel angry, hurt, embarrassed, jealous, anxious, or overwhelmed. No, 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 no. What it does mean is that you learn how to respond without letting your emotions drive the car, hit the curb, knock over a mailbox, and then blame everybody else. Like I said earlier, we're talking about impulse control, emotional regulation, and pause techniques using my signature Living with Grace framework. And that is gratitude, reflections, affirmation, connection, and empathy. And if this episode helps you, I want you to join me inside my free school community and check out the Living with Grace course, where we go deeper into building confidence, emotional resilience, better decision making, and real life skills for school, relationships, and life after high school. Because you're not just growing older, you're learning how to grow wiser. Let's begin with this universal truth. Your first reaction is not always your best response. Your first reaction is usually your emotions trying to protect you. When someone disrespects you, your brain says, defend yourself. When someone ignores your text, your brain says, they hate you. When your teacher corrects you in front of the class, your brain tells you, embarrassment, emergency. When your parents ask you one simple question, like, did you clean your room? Your brain responds like you're being cross examined in court. Teen life is full of emotional triggers. So, one of the things that we're going to talk about today is helping you to identify your triggers. All right. Now, what is a trigger? I'm so glad you asked. A trigger is anything that causes a strong emotional reaction inside of you. So, it could be a rude comment, a group chat message, someone leaving you on read, a friend acting different, a parent saying, watch your tone, a teacher calling your name when you were already having a bad day, a sibling breathing too loudly or chewing too loudly. And yes, sometimes the trigger is not even that deep, but your stress level already had you at a 9. So any tiny thing will push you all the way to 100. That's why emotional regulation matters. Let's talk about what emotional regulation is. Emotional regulation means learning how to notice what you feel, understand what is happening inside of you, and choosing a response that does not make the situation worse. It does not mean pretending you're fine. It does not mean letting people disrespect you. It doesn't mean becoming emotionless like a phone on 1% battery in low power mode. What it does mean is you saying to the people around you, or even to yourself, I feel this, but I do not want to become this. You can feel angry without being disrespectful. You can feel hurt without becoming cruel. You can feel embarrassed without shutting down. You can feel anxious without assuming the worst. You can feel rejected without attacking yourself. That is emotional maturity. And let me say this clearly, emotional control is not weakness, it is power, because anybody can react, anybody can clap back, anybody can post something petty, anybody can yell, anybody can walk away with attitude. But it takes strength to pause. It takes strength to breathe. It takes strength to say, let me think before I respond. You see that pause? That is where your power lies. My dear teenagers, tell me if you see yourself in any of the following scenarios. And if you're a parent listening to me or watching me, do you see your teen in any of the following scenarios? Scenario number 1, the group chat explosion. Someone says something shady in the group chat. Your fingers are ready. You have the perfect response. It is clever. It is spicy. It might even get you some likes. But before you send it, pause and ask yourself, will this solve the problem or create a bigger one? Scenario number 2, the teacher calls you out in class. So the teacher says this, please stop talking, but you feel embarrassed because other people were talking too. Your first reaction might be, why are you only saying something to me? Scenario number 3, your parent says something that sets you off. Your parent says, you always on that phone. And now you're so leaves your body. And you want to say, but you're always on your phone too, or you're always talking. Scenario number 4. Just let me know. Put a 1, 2, or 3 or 4 for any of the scenarios you see yourself or your teen in. You see someone post pictures from an event you were not invited to. Your stomach drops. Your mind says, nobody likes me. Do you see yourself in scenario 1, 2, 3, or 4? Because here is the thing, you cannot always control what happens, but you can learn to control what happens next. You cannot control every comment people make. You cannot control every teacher's tone. You cannot control every friend's mood. You cannot control every group chat. You cannot control whether people misunderstand you. But what you can control your pause. You can control your breathing. You can control your words. You can control whether you respond now or later. You can control whether you make the situation better or worse. Because here is the fact. Here is a famous quote by Charles R. Swindoll. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. So a lot of things are in your control. Let's talk about why teens react quickly. The important thing to understand is this for you as a teen, your brain is still developing. Do you see that part of your brain that helps with planning, decision making, impulse control, and thinking through consequences is still developing? That means your emotions can feel huge, fast, and intense. So when you react quickly, it doesn't mean you're bad. It just means your brain and body are trying to handle a lot at once. But there is good news. You say, what, Doc? Yes, there is good news. And the good news is you can train yourself to pause. You can build your emotional muscles. Just like you practice a sport, an instrument, a skill, and even TikTok dances that you claim you learned real quick, you can practice emotional control. And the more you practice, the better you get at it. That is where the grace framework comes in. And we will begin with gratitude. The key phrase I want to leave you with for gratitude is find one grounding thought. Now, hear me, because I'm sure I know what you're thinking right now. Dr. Kemi, what does gratitude have to do with me being angry right now? A lot. Gratitude does not mean that you're thankful for the problem. No one is saying, thank you so much for embarrassing me in front of the class. What a blessing. No one is saying that. Gratitude in emotional regulation means you find something steady to hold on to when your emotions feel wild. Like the thing that helps, and that helps you shift from panic mode to perspective mode. In the moment, gratitude sounds like thus. Grat in the moment, in the moment, gratitude sounds like this. I'm grateful I can pause before I make this worse. I'm grateful I do not have to respond immediately. I'm grateful I can choose a better reaction. I'm grateful this moment is temporary. Gratitude is the thing that reminds your brain, yes, this is uncomfortable, but I am not powerless. Reflection is where we slow down and get honest. Because sometimes anger is not the real emotion. Sometimes anger is covering embarrassment. Sometimes attitude is covering hurt. Sometimes silence is covering fear. Sometimes sarcasm is covering insecurity. Sometimes yelling is covering feeling unheard. So before you react, ask, what am I really feeling? Am I angry or am I embarrassed? Am I irritated or do I feel disrespected? Am I mad at this person or am I already stressed from something else? When I was a teacher, I borrowed a quote from the great Oprah Winfrey that I posted on my door. And that quote was to my students: take responsibility for the energy that you bring into this room. Of course, I didn't just post that quote, I had a conversation with my students about it. And the reason I bring this up right now is this: you may be lashing out at your teacher, your classmates, because of something that happened outside of the classroom that had nothing to do with them. And because you do not yet, and because you have not yet grown your emotional resilience muscle, you bring the energy from whoever upset you outside, you bring that into your present, into the room that you've entered. The mark of an emotionally resilient and emotionally intelligent person is the ability for you to be able to leave whatever happened outside the door. And you're coming into a new room with new people that haven't done anything to you. And then you do not take out your anger or your embarrassment or whatever it is you're feeling on those people. So let us continue. You then ask yourself, am I reacting to what happened or am I reacting to what I think it means? Because let me tell you something, we know how to build a story around things and perception. This last question is very powerful. The one I just asked you: am I reacting to what happened or am I reacting to what I think it means? Because sometimes the situation is they didn't text me back. But then the story that you build around that situation goes something like this: they do not care about me. They don't want to be friends with me anymore. I always knew they didn't like me. That's the story that you're building. When in actuality, that person may be busy, or that individual may be taking a nap, or they might be in a space where they do not have good signal. So, what reflection helps you to do is it helps you to separate facts from feelings. Affirmation is where I tell you, speak to yourself before you speak out loud. Self talk. Yes. Affirmations are not magic words. They remind your brain who is in charge because your brain ain't the boss of you. You the boss of your brain, right? When your emotions are high, your inner voice matters because if your inner voice says they played you, you better say something. Oh, don't let them get away with that. Go off. Then guess what? You're probably going off. But if your inner voice says, pause, I can handle this, I do not need to match their energy. I can be upset and still be wise. I can respond with maturity. Then you create space to choose differently. Here's an affirmation that I really, really love. Feel free to borrow it. I do not have to attend every argument I'm invited to. I say this, sis, just because you're putting it down does not mean I got to pick it up. And I said what I said. Because some people will send you an invitation to drama with a front row seat and snacks. You, my friend, Do not have to RSVP. Let's move on to connections. Connections is where I tell you to vet your circle of friends. Connections is where I remind you to choose people and spaces that help you calm down. Why does this matter? This matters because nobody regulates well in isolation all the time. Sometimes you need someone to help you come back to yourself, not someone who hypes you up into worse decisions. This is somebody that is in your inner circle. So I encourage you to build a calm circle. Now, who should be in your calm circle? People who help you think clearly. So in order for you to vet the people that should be in your calm circle, it's me to become better, not louder. That is who belong. That is emotional support circle. There's a friend and a chaos coach. Yes, I call them chaos coaches. You know, those friends that encourage you with foolishness, a supportive friend will say to you, take a breath, tell me what happened. A chaos coach will say, girl, send another text. A supportive friend will say to you, maybe wait before you post that. A chaos coach, on the other hand, tag them. That's what they're going to say. Tag them. A supportive friend helps you to protect your future. A chaos coach helps you create evidence and more chaos. So choose wisely. Vet your circle. Connections also means knowing when to step away from unhealthy environments. If the group chat is making you angry, leave it. Leave the group. If the comments are getting to you, log off. If the conversation is escalating, move away. Take space. If you're too emotional to explain yourself, and for this one, I want you, parents who are listening to me, to hear me say this. Allow your children to tell you that I need a minute. I want to talk about this, but I need to calm down first. And please, as a parent, as the adult, please respect that. I do that with my child. Whenever he's angry about a situation, I always ask him, you want to talk about it? And when he tells me, I need a minute, I don't want to talk about it yet, I respect that. I do. For your child to be able to articulate to you that they need space, that they need to calm down first, that is maturity and that is self leadership. Let's move on to empathy. Now, hear me when I say this. Empathy does not mean that you excuse bad behavior. Empathy allows you to see the bigger picture. It means that you try to understand people before you explode, or it means that you're trying to understand the situation before you explode. Understanding that sometimes people may be rude because they're having a hard day is empathy. Understanding that sometimes your teachers sounds irritated because they're overwhelmed is empathy. Understanding that sometimes your parents ask too many questions because they care and they do not know how to say it calmly is empathy. Understanding that sometimes a friend is quiet because they're dealing with something that they have not told you yet is empathy. But hear me again when I say this to you. Empathy does not mean that you allow people to mistreat you. You don't get to become a doormat for anyone because you're trying to be empathetic. It just means that you do not automatically assume the worst of people. So empathy encourages you to ask, what else could be true? Maybe this person is not ignoring. Maybe this person is busy. Maybe they did not mean it that way. Maybe I need more information. Maybe this deserves a conversation, not a reaction. Empathy creates space and boundaries, and that space creates better choices. I have given you the grace framework around how to control your emotions in the moment. How do you now build your impulse control? I'm so glad you asked. Tip number one, know your triggers. Pay attention to the thing that typically sets you off. Is it feeling ignored? Is it feeling embarrassed? Is it being corrected? Is it being misunderstood? Is it feeling left out? Is it being rushed? Is it being told no? When you know your triggers, you can prepare for them. Tip number two, create a plan. Do not wait until you are angry to figure out what to do. Make a plan now, today, this minute. Your plan might be I would take 3 to 5 deep breaths. Your plan could be I will ask for a minute. Your plan could be I will write before I speak. Your plan could be I will walk away. Your plan could be I will text a calm friend. Your plan could be I will not respond while angry. Paul's plan is like an emotional seat belt. You hope that you don't need it, but when things get bumpy, it protects you. Tip number three, watch your body signals. Your body often notices emotions before your brain explains them. Let's talk about signs that you're getting triggered. Your chest feels tight. Your face gets hot. Your hand clenches. Your voice gets louder. Your stomach drops. You feel like crying. You feel like shutting down. You feel like snapping. When you notice those signs, do not ignore them. That is your body saying, we need a pause. Tip number four, do not make permanent decisions in temporary emotions. Let me explain. This is a fancy way of saying do not make rash decisions while you're emotional. Do not end friendships in the heat of anger. Do not post when you're hurt. Do not send emotional essays at midnight. You should be asleep. Do not make big decisions just because you're overwhelmed. Temporary emotions can be loud, but loud does not always mean wise. Tip number five, prepare quickly when you mess up. You will not always get it right. Nobody does. Everybody makes mistakes. Sometimes you will react too fast. Sometimes you will say the thing. Sometimes your tone will escape before your maturity clocks in. When this happens, repair. And how does that look? You say quite literally, I reacted too quickly. I'm sorry. I was upset, but I should not have said it that way. I needed a pause, and I did not take one. I want to handle this better next time. That is accountability. That is emotional maturity. That is grace in action. So we have just covered how you can build your impulse control. Now I'm going to offer you 6 tools you can use when emotions are rising. Number one, the 5 second pause. Actually, when you feel triggered, count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then breathe. This interrupts the automatic reaction. It gives your brain a tiny window to choose. And sometimes a tiny window is all you need. Number two, the breathe before you speak rule. This one is my favorite one. This one was the one that I used to coach students all the time. Before you respond, take one full breath. It doesn't have to be a dramatic breath, like you're trying to let everybody in the world know that you're annoyed. A real breath. Inhale and then exhale, then speak. This helps your body calm down before your words come out. Because when your body is activated, your mouth can become a hazard. Tip number three, the text draft rule. Now, this particular rule I've used as an adult. Because let me tell you something, whether you're young, you're old, people will annoy you. People will get on your last nerves. Yes, they will. They will get on your last nerves via text, via email, via a social media post. For the social media post, I always tell people, let the spirit of Wakapas guide you. But let's talk about the text draft rule. If you are upset, and I have done this one works, write the message in your notes app first. If it's via email, write it and save it as a draft. Do not send it, let it sit. You want to go back and read it again later. Sometimes I encourage people to read it out loud to themselves and then ask yourself these questions, these three questions. Is this what I want to say? Will this help? Will I be proud of this tomorrow? Sometimes your notes app or the draft in your emails needs to be your emotional recycling bin. Put it there. Let it cool off. Number four, the walk away way. Walking away is not always losing. Sometimes walking away is how you win. I walk away a lot from things. Now, this doesn't mean that I do not like confronting issues, but sometimes when you set stuff down, I ain't picking it up. I'm not picking up drama from anybody. So I walk away. And it's always a conscious choice for me to walk away. You can say to yourself, I need a minute. I'm too upset to talk about this right now. Let me calm down first. I want to handle this better, so I need space. Y'all, that's not weakness. That is wisdom in sneakers. Let's talk about number five, practical tool number five that I'm handing to you. Name it to tame it. Say what you feel. You got to name the emotion. Are you feeling embarrassed? Are you feeling disrespected? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling left out? Are you feeling misunderstood? Naming the emotions lowers its power over you because once you name it, you can manage it. Number six, the future me question. Ask yourself, what would future me want to do right now? Future you probably does not want to apologize for a 14 paragraph text. Future you probably does not want screenshots floating around. Future you probably does not want detention drama or a broken relationship. Future you wants you to pause. Okay, that was great. But as you know, I always give you a challenge for the week. So here's your challenge for this week. Before you react, take one pause. Just one. Before you send the text, pause. Before you clap back, pause. Before you roll your eyes, pause. Before you assume the worst, pause. Before you post, pause. Then ask yourself, will this response help the situation or just release my frustration? That one question can change everything. And if you want help practicing this, come join me in my free school, Living with Grace community. Inside this community, we talk about real life teen situations, emotional resilience, confidence, decision making, friendships, school stress, and how to become the best version of yourself without pretending life is easy. And if you are ready to go deeper, I want you to check out the Living with Grace course. This course was created to help you build emotional strength, confidence, self awareness, and life skills using the GRACE framework, which are gratitude, reflection, affirmations, connection, and empathy. Because you do not have to figure everything out by yourself. You can grow with support You can learn how to pause. You can learn how to respond instead of react. You can learn how to handle stress, conflict, pressure, and emotions with more confidence. So join us in school. Enroll in the Living with Grace course and start building the tools you need for school, relationships, and life after high school. Until next time, remember, think first, react less, give yourself grace, stay growing, stay graceful, and know that you got this. And I am cheering you on. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Gracefully Growing. Thank you so much for tuning in and growing with me. Remember, living with grace means showing gratitude, taking the time for reflection, speaking powerful affirmations, building strong connections, and practicing daily empathy with yourself and others. If today's episode gave you something to think about, inspired you, or made you smile, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also download today's free resource in the show notes and join our Gracefully Growing community on social media for more tools, encouragement, and real talk. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself, keep growing, and most of all, keep living with grace. I am Dr. Kemi. See you next week.